With the second season over, we can now see how it stacks up against the first season. And in my opinion, second season was way better, at least to me. Mind you, we still had a lot of problems with it, but they did a much better job at streamlining the plot. One of the biggest weaknesses from the first season. For one thing, there were no sudden characters that appeared out of nowhere and served an important role. Well, except for Baxter and Abel, but they played a small role. Important roles, but still not central ones. We already know everyone else and we simply learn more about them. Hell, we still have a lot to learn about the existing characters. I love that we mostly followed one plot, which is the rise and fall of Vox, as well as Alistair's plan to further his own power, and everyone's reaction to the whole thing. I mean, I know it's basic, but it's a big improvement over Season 1. I love how Vox's story unfolded. We learned about him, about his motivation, his rise to power, and his reason for obsessing over Alistair. The dynamic of Vox and Alistair was my favorite part of this season. I would have loved to learn about how these got together. We don't really see that, but we do see how much they actually cared for each other, which was really cool. I like that Vox didn't die. It fits better with the whole underlying theme of forgiveness and redemption that is like the central focus of the show. Well, at least it should be the focus of it, but that's a different problem. And this way we can develop his character even more in the future. This was kind of a season of pairs. A lot of characters and their stories were paired up, so I will talk about them like that. It's a bit easier for me and I kind of don't want to go one by one. For the first and biggest pair, and really the one that carried the show, we have Alistair and Vox. The plot revolved around these two guys, for better and for worse. The good part is they can totally carry the show no problem. Their dynamic was fun and engaging. And I had a blast seeing how they will try to mess each other plans and what will they do next. But on the other hand, they kind of really took away from our MC, Charlie. At least in this season, she took kind of a backseat for a bit. I think we will see her do a lot more going forward, at least I hope we will. This season really was Vox and Alistair's show, and it really benefited from it. Vox had a plan, honestly, he followed through it really well. From undermining the hotel, which was not that hard since Charlie did most of the work for him. He just had to let her talk and edit some parts to make it sound worse than it actually was. But he really went off after he caught Alistair, which led to him gathering power and even creating a weapon that can actually harm Heaven. All good so far. The only problem, besides Heaven, which should have been stronger than what we have seen so far, is Alistair's mind games. Alistair had his own problems, the biggest of which was that he was hurt and still under contract. But he didn't let that bring him down. He provoked Vox, got his ass kind of whooped, part of the plan I guess, and followed through on his own plans. All the while messing with Vox, since he knew that he himself was basically one of, if not the biggest weakness Vox had. He knew that he was already in his head, so he just played into that. Which led to an amazing final fight, where he whooped Vox's ass, but then got fucked up by Shockwave. While the relationship between Vox and Alistair was the one that got the most development, it wasn't the only one. We also had Vaggie and Charlie going through a low point in their own relationship, which was caused by Charlie not really listening to anyone and ignoring everyone's advice. But unlike what most of the internet thinks, I was fine with this. Once I understood that this was mostly because she finally got a confirmation that redemption is possible, which was something she had no certainty about before this season. She only hoped that it was possible, but now that she knows for certain that it is, it changed everything, and she wanted to share this news with all of hell. The only problem is, she did a horrible job at that. She should have waited for there to be like 100% certain way to prove to all of hell that redemption is possible. But she got too excited, which I can't blame her for. But I did not like the way in which she handled her dad and Vaggie. That was just bad. But that does not define her character, and I know she will do better in the future. Then we have Husk and Angel, who are both going through their own shit this season. While they don't have a lot of screen time devoted just to them, what was shown to us was really good. We have learned why Angel went to hell at least a partial reason for it, which was followed by Husk's spiral into gambling and booze, and then we got one of the best songs from this season, Losing Streak, which pulled Husk out of his slump, and just when you think everything will be okay, Angel gets done dirty. So they try to save him. That doesn't really work. And now we have to wait for season 3 to see the end of this story. Can't wait to see it. I really hope they get a happy ending, but we will have to wait to see that. One of the most popular new pairs is Nifty and Baxter. They establish a really cute dynamic in a short period of time we see them, and I hope we get to see more of them. As of right now, we don't really know much about them except that they're cute together. Another pair that I really liked this season was Valentino and Velvet, by which I mean I really like that despite everything, they stay loyal to Vox, even when he went full power-hungry tyrant mode. And I like that it was them who stopped him when he was clearly being self-destructive. This really flew in the face of Alistair's whole theory that there are no friends in hell, when clearly there are, and it was cool to see that friendship coming from the villain's side of the story, showing us that even bad people can be friends. It's not something that's limited to the good side. On the Heaven side, it was mostly them dealing with finding out that redemption is real and possible. This had the most impact on Sarah, who did not want to do extermination in the first place, or more likely she was really reluctant to do it, but she did go through with it since she thought there was no other option. But now that she knows, she has to deal with the guilt that came as a result of her action. It's good that we see this, since in season 1 heaven wasn't really a good place at all, and it kind of made no sense why sinners would even want to go there. But this season we see a different side of heaven, one that is trying to be better. Well, almost everyone. Lut is still very much trying to kill everyone in hell, but right now she can't really do much. And this is more of a personal vendetta than anything else, anything bigger. We also have Abel and Emily on the Heaven side. We see Emily doing all she can to help Charlie and the hotel, and she has done quite a bit actually. From helping convince Sarah that Pensius is truly redeemed, to connecting Charlie and Heaven, as well as participating in the final plan to stop Vox and his attack on Heaven. She did a lot, and was really useful. Probably did more to repair the image of Heaven in our eyes than anyone else in the show. Then there is Abel, who tried really hard to fill in his father's shoes, but he kept failing, mainly because he is a good person, unlike his dad, who I do think is cool, but is still an asshole nonetheless. And he did have a cool moment in the final song where he gathered his courage and stood up for himself. That part was cool. Plus, he is voiced by Patrick Stump from Fall Out Boy, and they really should have given him more songs. In the end, I like season 2 way more than the first one, mainly because the plot was more streamlined, and we didn't get to see too many new characters introduced. Most importantly, I loved the ending where the main bad guy is not just thrown away and killed in a gag moment, but is instead punished and will be forced to deal with his actions. Adam got off too easy. He's dead now. He doesn't have to grapple with morality of killing sinners when they can be redeemed, since he didn't know that. Vox will have to live with his failure, and maybe, just maybe, he will learn to appreciate what he currently has. Unlike Adam, who's just dead, this ending worked much better with the show's central theme of redemption. So I'm excited to see what will come next in season 3. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you next time.